let's add items. There we go. That's so. I'm gonna have to create a new class that holds items or attack cards and optionally a component container. So let's do that. So I think that should be on enemies, or should it be combat entity? Where is that? Let's put it here. So this is a script, empty C# script. So this is a entity default equipment. And there we go. So let's edit this. Let's close this. So this is what I wrote today when I was not streaming. So that's basically what I'm going to do, is create default a default configuration for each item. It will have a default item components for each item. So let's do a default equipment, and this will hold this. Wait, card scriptable object. Let's do a default equipment. Let's change this. Let's add a list, because that's what it is. It's a list. So you have a public card. Let's do a card type, and here let's do a item component container. Let's do a component container. Oops. So in here I can configure all the effects. I had the condition there, but I don't use this. And I can configure it. I can add its effects. Okay, so that's enough. So let's do a serializable serial. Never mind, let's close this. Default equipment. say. Default equipment, item, component, container, component, container. All right. So this was serializable. Serial using system. So this is serializable. There, this is serializable, and this is serializable. Let's do this. Combat entity, default equipment. This should be serializable. Item, component, container, there. Okay, so now I can get the enemies. Hero types there. Equipment limits, default equipment list. There, so with this I can add, for example, I can add a punch attack. There we go. Without components, and I can add another one, which is a sword. Where is the wood sword? There. So with this, no, item, components, container. So how can I create a new one? Let's check with Odin. Essentials, assets only. So I need to be able to create a new one. Inspect. I can't. Type specific asset list. Asset selector, no. Child, inline editor, multi-line property, preview. Custom context, menu, indent, type selector, can't see anything, space, requires, range, progress bar, toggle unit wrap. I'm not sure, assets only, so okay, I'm not sure how to do this. Let's ask digrock. Unity 6 using Odin inspector. Can I add an instance of a class, custom class, to a public variable script object? System serializable. Okay. Serialize field. Okay. Let's do this. Siri. Does this change anything? There. Compile. Okay, I can't for now. Inline editor or create asset menu. What? Create asset menu? What's that? Inspector. Create asset. Create color, dispose, child asset selector, disable list, disable exclude, disable expand. What's this? Oops. Oh, there. Hide duplicate reference. Preference type class. First object. Type selector. Type. So this shows types. Polymorphic drawer. Searchable vertical group. What? Inline editor. Let's do an inline editor. Inline editor. Okay. Nothing happens. Create asset menu. Okay. Bien. To allocating scriptable object assets. What? Create asset menu. You're crazy. Oops. Oh, not this one. Oh, I see. Okay, let me check here. This should be enough. System serializable. Okay, this should be system serializable. Let's recompile. Okay, let's try again. Iron swords doesn't work. Wood sword. So this doesn't work. Create a new custom data instance. Inline editor. So this should be enough. Right, custom data. Should I do it like this? Why not? Oh. Unity object. Why not custom data? Why not? Let's see. Like this. Okay, recompile. Forgot to save. this inline editor. Wait a second. So this won't work. Let's see the documentation. Inline editor. Okay. Custom class. File path. It's to button. Wait, let's check the polymorphic. Type assets. Asset selector. Asset selector. Type. Filter. Concrete. Base type. Asset list. Polymorphic. Exclude. Okay, just wait. System serializable. Class serializable inline editor. Let's select this. And then we have this that is serializable. Oh, this is a mono behavior. So this is an inline editor. Okay. This is a source. None. Set to null. Let's just copy. I have this. Default component. Can I make it so that the component container can hold an instance for each combat entity? What entity so and unique instance for each. To ensure the combat entity script level object has unique instance of it in component container for each default equipment in its default equipment list, you need to address serialization and instantiation. Since it in components container is a mono behavior, it cannot be directly serialized as an unique instance within a scriptable object without special handling. The Unity serialization system doesn't natively support creating unique instances of mono behavior classes within scriptable objects. But you can achieve the desired behavior using one of the following approaches. Okay, two main solutions: convert container to a serializable class, preferred for scriptable objects, or use scriptable objects to store data, and also provide a way to create unique instances in the Unity editor using the inspector. It in components container to a serializable class. Since Item components container is currently a monobehavior. It's designed to be attached to a game object. However, for use within a scriptable object like combat entity, it's better to make it a plain serializable class. As monobehavior components are tied to game objects and can be instantiated directly in a scriptable object, serialized data. This approach ensures that each combat entity SO has a unique serialized instance of item components container. Okay. Yes, anyway, I don't understand why item components, I mean, where is it? This one. Why is this a monobehavior? It actually doesn't need to be a monobehavior, because this I mean, the card already has this one item component, so I really don't need to add it. I just need to create it and then assign it. Oh, look at this, it's like used in many places. So yes, I think I can get rid of this. There, so now I'm gonna have lots of errors. There, let's do a new equals there. Check that out. Delete this and new item component container. There, easy. That's actually all I needed to do. Wait, actually get component fusionable cards. Fusionable cards. Okay. So item component container. What's this? Drop cards. Is this a game object? Okay. Container. There we go. Fusionable cards. What's this? Container. There. Item component container. Item component container. container. Easy. No. Oh, look at this. So this is the drop card. Let's do something like this. Dropped cards. Card script. Card prefab. There. So now I can do, wait a second. Oh, I made a mistake. So the item pairing card is not the same as there we go. So there, drop cards. There, let's do this. Card prefab. Card script. Proper card script. There we go. There, item components. My item component container. There. My item component container. Dropped cards. Item component container. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see. There we go. That's what I wanted. Component container. Component container. What? Okay, I think this is enough. Should be enough. Okay. There we go. So I can add a weak effect. Weak effect. Weak enemy charge 0. What about its value? charge. Weak effect. Effect item component. Effect value. So I can't see the value. Okay, let's do a serialized what? Serialize what? There. I should be able to see the value. There, let's see. There is a list, for example, week. There we go. So this is 1. No, enemy -1. There we go. So that's what I wanted. So I'm configuring the default equipment list for the goblin. The goblin should have a weak effect. Should apply a weak effect, right? Or what else could it be? Cooldown charge, modify health, permanent change, item component. So that's the effect list. Poison, should I poison him? Sleep. Okay, let's add poison, enemy 1. Disactivates on enter combat. Deactivation exit combat while in close combat. That's it. Okay, let's configure the slime. So the default equipment list, the card type is a wood sword. Okay, the same thing for our guys. Let's do a list of effects and let's weaken you. Text weak. Charge 1. No, I mean charge 0. Value 1. There, for the skeleton. Let's add the wood sword. Enter, exit, while in close combat. Effect list. Let's add a shield. Value of 1. There. So how can I do this? Maybe I could have the effect list deactivated. So depending on the day, I can activate the different effects. So let me check how activation queue. So activation queue, activate first card, gets activated. What happens when I activate? So for example, I activate the wood sword item, right? There. So this activates the punch attack. Alright, so then let's grab the clip, common clip events. This executes the card, goes through all the effects, and then runs the execute command. I could disable and enable this. Or maybe I could add more cards with different effects. So on each day, a new card gets added. That could work. So on day 1, the punch card gets added. Let's change this. Default equipment, item components. Let's be item components container. Okay, enter close combat, exit, there, effect list. So let's say on day 5 this gets added, right? This. So this will make the goblin apply poison to the enemy. It will add 2 poison. And let's see, on day 10 I will add another wood sword with the same thing, exit combat, in close combat, there, and I could add a shield, right? So this adds there. Yeah, makes sense, right? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I could work with this. So yeah. As days pass, new default cards get added to the equipment of the new enemies. There. Okay, so that's the configuration. This doesn't have item components container because this is an attack card, not an item card. Let's make this null. Like this, null. So this should be null. What? Item components container. So this got reset. First apply poison 1, then apply shield to self, and that's it. So let's see if the serialization actually works, because that's very important. Let's wait until it's completed. There. Uh-oh, it doesn't work. This doesn't work. Shield. Let's see. Oh, maybe because it needs this. I forgot to mark it as serializable. Let's start with weak. There. Weak. No, don't do that every single time, man. Okay, sleep. There, shield. Poison. Modify health. There we go, that's already there. There, confuse. There we go. So now let's wait and try again. There we go. So this is effect list. Let's do a modify health enemy 2 and a new one which is poison. Poison enemy 2. There we go. So this should work. Skeleton. There we go. So in the last one should have health and enemy poison. Health 2. Now let's do 1 and 2. Okay, let's try again. Let's wait. Okay. Oh, it doesn't work. I wonder why. Effects list. Maybe this is needed. Serialize field. So I'm gonna remove this. There. Okay. Where is the effect list? Nowhere to be found. Item components. Okay. Show in inspector. The member is not serialized. But it is. Serialized. What do you even mean? Okay, let's try to use the serialization debugger. Combat. Auto serialization. is not implemented. Okay, scriptable Odin, scriptable serialized, scriptable object. Oh, I hope this doesn't break everything. This is gonna screw up all the enemies. Oh, it didn't. You have serialized. What do you mean it's not serialized? Let's do serialized field. Okay. Where is the showing inspector? I mean, where is the effects? Okay. So, what's going on here? Show in inspector. Why is it not serialized? Okay, let's see again. Yeah, so it's not serialized. Otherwise it would have saved. Why is it not serialized? Let's try this. Nothing. Okay, let's ask. I have this, but this is not serialized. When I close Unity and reopen it. Yes, I effect item component. Check this out, it's serializable. System serializable. One overload. Okay. Oh, maybe that's why. What's this used for? Doesn't say. Amazing, isn't it? Okay, let's try with that. Goblin. So check this out. Task week. Enemy 1. And this should have poison enemy 2. There. Recompile, save again, close. open it. So that's the only difference I did. Let's see if that fixes it. Crazy. So if this works, it means it works. It means, ha, that was it. But Odin never says that it should be used for derived types, so that sucks. Let's make sure this used to any types. So attribute is so that was the solution. So now that I know that it works, I can work on configuring the deck of the enemy. So every time the enemy is started, the deck is configured. So this is the default way to do it. So here every single enemy creates a punch card there and sets the card to the transform. So now I have to read the type. So I think that the type is here. Yes. Where was we? There. So entity being dot comma entity type dot there. Default equipment list. So for each, let's go. But I don't really need to go for int x equals 0. There, let's do this. Let's do an x. So this goes the card type. Title. Card type dot title. There. So I can create a card. Let's do a private void, create new, or rather let's equip new card. There, let's do a string of cards title. And let's copy and paste this. Let's do this. Could not be equipped to any. There. So with this, I can do this. Equip a new card. string, I do a new card title equals there. Whoop. There, new card title. That's what we want to do. So let's do an int max cards there. So get the maximum number of cards to equip from the days count from the number of days passed. So max cards equals so I don't remember. Let's do day manager. Day counter, right? Where do I get the day counter? All right, so let's do something like this. Get day counter max enemy cards. So for day 1 to 4 and to 4 return 1 card. For 6 return 2. Wait, there is no day 0. And for the rest, let's do a 9, 10, 12, yeah, why not 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the rest is 4. I should do this maybe 13. So okay, whatever. Get the counter. So how do I get this day controller? How is this used? Final references. Oh, get health upgrades. There, get the counter attack max enemy cards. There, so max cards is -1. There. So when this starts, gets the day, and here we can decide the number of cards we want, the maximum number, and it goes through that. But let's check. Let's make sure if max cards, their default length, count equals count. So that way I can limit, make sure that it doesn't go overboard. If it's greater, that's a limit. Alright. Equiped. There. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break for a few minutes and I'll be right back. See you soon. Bye bye.